Anywho, all right. Thank you guys for showing up for another episode of In Perspective. Um, this is episode 13. I was gonna have some stuff planned out, but that didn't happen. So here we are. With me, have some new homies. Thanks to Light. Always got the connections. Um, I'll let you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves. Starting with whoever wants to go. I'll start with Kyle. I know it seemed like Kyle's busy, but
Well, my name is Kyle. I am a photographer. My handle on Instagram is Altered Perspective Photos. I'm also a writer and just a cinephile. So I'm a big film fan.
cool.
So yeah.
Thanks, man.
I'm Stephanie on the social media. I go by Kyle Cosplay and am a cosplayer. I also on Monday nights do a little D&D stream over on Gut Punch RP.
Oh, word. I'm gonna have to check that out. You should tell us a little bit more about that later on.
Yeah, can totally do that. It's
Cool.
fun.
All right, Light.
My name is Light, and I am made up of 65% water, according to modern science. And I have a bowl of delicious mac and cheese.
Is the rest of that percentage cheese?
It could be.
I feel like there's a decent amount of water in cheese, so will that make it more than 95%? I don't know. Thanks for being here, man. And I'm Tevin. I'm just a dude that does dude things.
He's a dude.
I'm just a gamer at times and a watcher of anime at times. And I used to do sports, but that time has passed in my life. So here I am, just trying to bring some homies together, have some discussions about different topics and whatnot. And again, thank you guys for showing up, and we can hop into this. So usually in the beginning, I don't know how much you guys have been watching, but in the beginning, usually we start off with some memes. And with memes, usually the stuff is either related to whatever topic, main topic that we have, but this week it's just going to be completely random. Whatever I decide to find. If you guys have memes, we can check out those memes as well. Feel free to send them to me in the podcast chat. But yeah.
Do I have any memes this week?
I'm pretty sure 95% of my memes are NSFW.
Come on, man.
That's fair.
Oh. Yeah, I got some pretty messed up memes. I want to share them. Like, I could. And yeah.
Maybe we ease into it. Maybe that's the way to go.
Let me see if we can find one that's safe.
Alrighty.
I'm pretty sure I got some safe ones.
Yeah. All right.
Maybe.
We can check them out at some point.
All right.
So this is what we got so far. What's the proper way for Batman to wear a hat?
Can I just say that like I'm really digging number 5, and I feel like Bruce would have hats specifically designed for that purpose.
I got a nose bill.
Well, that's the part you need to shade on is that lower part. So that's,
Yeah.
I feel like you would definitely have number 5, but number 4 is how it should be pulled on.
Yeah. Okay, I see. You don't like the number 2 with the ears down?
It makes me uncomfortable.
You know what? It's weird because like I remember in Batman Begins, like the ears were like separate pieces from his cowl, and they were like a rigid plastic type situation.
Yeah.
And now that I'm looking at this picture and I'm thinking about it, why doesn't Batman headbutt people?
I feel like I have. I feel like I have seen him headbutt people. I looked down there because I have a Batman graphic novel right there. I was almost grabbed it to go through the pages.
Like I feel like those horns would be horns, ears, whatever you want to call them, would be pretty efficient as weaponry.
Oh, you're talking about like head all the way down.
Like
and
ramming, yeah.
ramming someone. I'm
Like
thinking
hammerhead rammed, and that's
okay.
what you're talking about.
I'm thinking about headbutt as in just forehead to whatever.
No, I'm talking about let me run my bat ear straight into you. Like,
maybe that's
I feel like he could do it if he like really thought about it. Otherwise, you'd just be like driving it into your skull also, and that would not be great.
You think it's spiky on both sides? Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, it would just be like 2 points of enough pressure. You would feel like where a little bit of it would get driven in.
True.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Well, but if he's as rich and prepared as he claims to be, then that whole suit should be shockproof. But
it definitely should be.
Well, if I remember correctly, there was a book that was out when I was a kid. It had like all of Batman's weaponry in it, and it went over his cowl. And there's like an earpiece in there for him to communicate. But I don't know if that's canon to the current comics or what.
I think that would make sense.
Yeah.
But I also feel like now it's like you have something efficient enough where you wouldn't need ear antennas.
Right?
I think when you're Bruce Wayne, hopefully.
Yeah, just need an AirPod now.
Yeah.
I don't know how you feel about
so
this.
this meme. I've seen this meme around.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
I don't know how to feel about it either. It's weird. It's like unsettling on like a lo-fi level. I want to know like who was sitting down and like thought to draw that. Like what the thought process was, honestly.
Frog.
Is that what it was, Kyle? I just thought that. I was like, yep. Gotta make an alien.
This
yes.
Yes.
Have y'all been paying attention to the blockage?
I love it.
I didn't know what was going on at first, and then I decided to search it on Google, and now I'm completely caught up to date.
It's great. You just, hang out in the ocean for a while, draw like a dick in the middle of it, and then go into the canal and turn sideways. Like,
is that what happened?
Bless this captain.
That's pretty much what happened.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah, that's exactly. And now it's just like one bulldozer. It's like, I got this, guys. Don't worry.
What's crazy? Like I was reading into it a little bit, and apparently that upset like 10% of the world's trade.
Yeah.
Over the weekend or something like that.
Yeah, apparently
it's like millions of dollars an hour.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It's crazy. It's definitely crazy to think about like the fact that like one ship or one plane or something like that along those lines can affect something on that big of a scale.
For sure.
It is, but like, that's trade for you. But they say you should like buy coffee now if you like coffee because it could come in short supply, I guess.
Oh yeah, the world
sounds like the toilet paper panic, but
the world will blow up if that happened.
Right.
It's like everyone's freaking in love with coffee. I don't think it's gonna cause as big of a ruckus, but
yeah, but it's terrifying with that. Now I have to go around like Cape Horn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a long ways, and like the roughest seas in the world. Like, good luck, ships.
That's a good point.
So
I think it's like
it is kind of crazy to think that. It is kind of crazy to think that we're still going through like the effects of COVID on the economy, and now we got this thing going on, and it's just like, I don't know what parts of the U.S. You're in, Stephanie, but with all the snow we had last month, it affected more people. There's still Starbucks and like restaurants in like the St. Louis area that are still like out of like certain cups and containers and they're just like not selling certain products because they're short. They've been short since all that snow. So
That's crazy. Like how crazy the weather's been generally,
yeah,
and supply chain stuff. Yeah, I'm in Minnesota. Like we've had a lovely, calm winter. None of that bullshit. A little cold, like once, but
yeah.
oh,
We got some wholesome, very wholesome. Is that Tea Turtle?
Yeah, Tea Turtle.
Yo, shout out to Tea Turtle. I got a Tea Turtle Final Fantasy 7 shirt in my closet right now, and they are probably, if I go to conventions, they're probably their booth usually has something I want
Yeah.
most of the time. And especially like going to cons like over the years and seeing more stuff and like similar stuff and different stuff, and it's like I always try to find something a little unique that I usually can't get that many other places.
Mhm.
But like Tea Turtle definitely has like legitimately good design.
I agree with that. There's been a lot of times that I've seen things, more so back in the day when I was like in middle school and high school, where I was like, I'm interested in getting this, but didn't have the money for it, so I just stared at it and just longing for it. But now that I have the money, I'm like, nah, I'm good. But there's definitely a lot of things on there that I could see myself wearing or I'd be interested in purchasing.
Uh, Stephanie, when you go to cons, what type of stuff do you usually go for in like the dealer's hall or whatever?
I if I'm wearing a costume, I will sometimes buy a pop of it. Like it has to match though. And then I buy like maybe too much art, and
I
now
don't
it's just.
believe I don't believe in too much art.
I mean, there's no such thing, but you like run out of wall space, and you're like, well, now I have a rotation that's not going to change because these are still my favorites.
Yeah.
So it's maybe too much art, but like, yeah, I mostly am there to like people watch. I don't like a ton of stuff, but who knows? Maybe I'll start buying dice all the time and just spiral down that.
Dice roll.
Yeah.
I've made a rule for myself where it's like if I'm at a con, I always buy art because it's like sometimes depending on the con or like if I see something, this meme, I swear to God. But like depending on like sometimes I buy like shirts or comics or whatever, but it's got to be something that I've just like been really looking for. But I love buying art at cons and seeing all the different kind of art that people make,
Mhm.
Yeah.
whether it's prints or enamel pins or buttons or you know just weird little trinkets. Like I love buying unique things that I can't find in like regular retail environments.
Oh,
Y'all have any animals?
that's
I don't, but
yeah. My dog.
my dad and my sister have dogs that I play with all the time, and that's relatable.
You said you had a dog, Stephanie?
Yeah, my dog was doing that earlier. It's like I don't even know what I did, but you're freaking out, and I'm just gonna close this door a little bit. It's like right before this started.
What is going on here?
It's a snack pack.
It's just
Snack pack.
in purse. Oh my gosh!
Are those Cheetos?
I just want to know.
Cheeto
Yeah, I want to know
Pops.
if like this was a sanctioned purse filling, or if like the parents got to the store and she just like opened her tiny purse and it was like full of Cheetos without permission because you're just like,
I feel like it could have went either way. It
Yeah,
might just be the parents' purse, to be honest.
I feel like the answer is yes.
I would agree with that. I'm saying it's not a
Oh,
bad idea.
goodness.
That's all I got
It's
for
not
that.
at all. No, that's
I wish that it had like a bag inside of it, like something that you could take out, because just
You don't like raw Cheetos in a purse?
not my favorite concept, even if that is just your Cheeto purse. But
Yeah.
no.
I'm not a big fan of potato chip crumbs or stuff like that. You imagine what like the inside of that person looks like after like it's empty, just orange
Yeah.
residue everywhere.
And then if you keep like adding more Cheetos to it, it just like builds orange residue, and then it's just like.
Let me just say that as a person with a big beard, yeah.
Just painting yourself.
You eat one Cheeto, then your whole beard's orange. Like, what the hell?
Wear a Cheeto or a beard bib. Alright, I don't know if y'all seen anything about White Boy Summer. I seen something on Twitter, but I was just like, I don't know what this is supposed to be.
So I don't like. I vaguely. It was one of those things where I saw somebody. I guess the person who said it initially is justifiably catching heat for it, but I don't know the guy. I don't know his name. Like I literally, it's one of those things where like I scroll, I hit the article, I stop for a second, and I'm just like, and then keep scrolling. Like, so I don't know what the memes are. I want to say it's a rapper, but I feel like I could be
I just looked up
misquoting that.
Who it is. Oh, it's Tom Hanks' rapper son named Chet Hanks.
Hold on.
Why, Tom? Why would you do that?
So Tom Hanks' son, like
Yes.
Tom Hanks,
his son. His rapper name is Chet Hayes. Hayes with the Z-E. Says on Instagram, I just got this feeling, man, that this summer it's about to be a white boy summer.
I'm literally picturing Tom Hanks just kind of like putting his phone down and ignoring everything on social media right now. Because from what I know, Tom Hanks is like one of the most wholesome people in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And like I don't ever see. What's that?
How old is this son? Is he like grown?
It doesn't say, but he looks like he's in his 20s.
I didn't even know Tom Hanks had a son.
That's a good point.
He's got a couple. He's got one that's a real famous actor named Colin Hanks.
Yeah, who seems to be all right.
He's 30.
This is
the rapper.
Oh no, that's bad. That's not.
Like,
you don't say that, sir.
It's just a good way to promote his music, though. Can't deny that.
I know people are talking about him.
Yeah.
You never knew about the other son until he declared White Boy Summer.
I'm curious what that means. That's the only thing.
What's crazy is he is causing this ruckus, right? And then his album or his mixtape or his EP is going to drop or whatever. And then like the music is going to be completely forgettable.
Oh,
that's usually how
it's going to be bad.
Yeah.
It's bad.
That's usually how these types of things go. It's like there's this huge like campaign to get buzz going, and then the actual music drops and it's just trash. So
I mean, hey. Sucks sometime.
At least he's trying.
Derek Jackson.
Who's that?
Yeah, who?
So there's this dude. I don't know if he's like on YouTube or any other socials, but I always see his videos recommended to me on Facebook. And he does relationship advice. He's one of those guys who like sits in his car and like spews out relationship advice to men, women, whatever. And he got caught cheating on his wife. Or I don't know if he got caught cheating or if he just exposed himself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he did this whole video with his wife about how he was sorry and he's not perfect, and it was this real cringy video. And it kind of looked like he may have had a gun to his wife's back and said, "Say these words or else." Like that's the kind of
Whoa,
energy I was getting from
whoa,
the video.
whoa. That sounds
I'm
like
just saying
propaganda.
that's hey, I'm just saying that's the energy the video exudes. And then what was crazy is he did a react video to his expose video where he talked about himself in the third person
Oh,
and basically
no.
tried to make himself seem relatable or like justify his actions and saying that people shouldn't be put on pedestals or whatever. And it's just the whole thing is wild to me. But I mean, that's just a little bit of toxic relationships and a little bit of that toxic masculinity at its finest, manipulation, all types of stuff going on there.
Yeah,
That's
I didn't pay
weird.
a whole lot of attention to it, but from what I gathered, yeah, that's all it really seems like is either that or again, it could just be all a ploy. I don't know. I didn't look at any videos, so I don't have enough information to say. But I can see people doing that, especially nowadays in this day and age, like just trying to blow up. So,
So yeah, I was kind of talking about that earlier with somebody, and this is real kind of conspiracy theorist ish. It's in that area, and I don't like to go to conspiracy theory land that much, but I feel like when it comes to a lot of these internet influencers and entertainers like that make like online content versus like Hollywood actors, there is more of a desire to stay relevant. You know what I mean? Because if you have like a musician or an actor, they can release a project or a movie or an album or something, disappear for like 2 or 3 years, come back and everything's fine. But when you're a content creator, I feel like there's more of like this urge to stay relevant. And I'm not saying everybody does this, but I could definitely see people doing it. It's just putting themselves in controversial situations on purpose for the views, for the controversy. Because even if you're like clicking on something to laugh at somebody or make fun of them, like you're still giving them a click. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
earned media
Yeah.
is
So
good
I
media.
mean,
I 100%
that's
believe that he cheated on his wife. I'm not saying that this specific instance is a conspiracy, but I wouldn't be surprised if that type of stuff happens. If like like YouTubers behind the scenes like orchestrate drama, like plan it out, and then it unfolds, and we think it's like an organic situation. But
Oh yeah, there's a
I mean, yeah.
Go ahead, Stephanie, if you have anything.
I was just gonna say. I mean, that's like what reality TV's been doing forever and ever. It's like the same thing, trying to get people to watch. Yeah.
That makes sense. There's a who was it? Was it uh Boosie? Some rapper. I'm not sure. I don't follow a lot of rappers, but there's a video of I think it was Boosie. He got
Boosie Badass.
I don't know. There's a rapper in the convenience store and he got slapped and he was with like little with the baby. The baby, yeah, with the baby. In a convenience store or like a I think it was a convenience store. And
Yeah.
at first you didn't know anything about the baby, but there was like two side by side videos, one showing what the baby was doing in the background, and another where Boosie's getting slapped by like what seems to be a random person.
Yeah.
And then you go back to watch the video with the baby, and the baby's like capturing the moments before, whereas like
Yeah.
the dude was setting up the whole scenario with the random person to slap him and all that.
I heard that I think Boosie paid like $500 to that dude to slap him, or like
Something
somebody
like
got
that.
paid money for that
Yeah,
incident to occur.
yeah. Cause I know the first time I seen it, I was like, "Oh snap, this happened!" And then like the next day, I seen the video with the baby, showing them and explain everything. And it's just like it makes sense why they're doing it when we're just looking at it like a marketing perspective. But like at the same time, it's like, man, like is this what we come to?
Is everything a lie?
Yeah, but
That's
all right.
yeah.
That's that's all I got for the memes. And from here, it's pretty much just free roam. Whatever you guys want to get into, we could talk about it. If there's new stuff that you guys seen, we could jump into that. If there's something on your mind, we could jump into that. Whatever, whatever.
I got nothing.
You got nothing.
Not yet.
Uh, Stephanie, I am very interested to hear about this D&D stream.
True.
Uh,
Oh, the D&D stream. I mean, it's great fun. We go every Monday night at 6:30 Central Time. Our DM's super cool. They're like Dr. Psychowl on social media platforms, and it's like an entire world that they have created that's a mix of like fairy tale and now we're on a pirate ship, so also still fairy tale. There's like also Norse gods that are coming in, and like there's some Greek gods. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on. But yeah, it's like super fun. I think there's 5 of us. We just like switched to a new character, so that's also fun. Plus like D&D.
So is it um like a sequential stream? Like, do you guys start where you left off last stream? Is that how it
Yeah,
happens? Okay,
yeah, it's ongoing.
okay. Like, how did you start off? Like, what was like the first day of the D&D? How did that go? Because I don't know
Uh,
too much about D&D. Like, I know what it's about, kind of, but I don't know what the experience is like. I don't know how things start off and all that.
I mean, a lot of the time, like a DM will go through like a session 0 and just like kind of introduce everyone and say like where everyone's coming from. We like kind of did that, but like our first stream was just like you meet in a tavern and like some of you are arriving together and like one person just like stumbles up on the beach, so you're all like here together, and there's like
this guy,
always like coming on in. There's like
sorry,
always a thing where it's like you end up together alone in a place that like should be public. And for us, it was like a fae came through and was like, "You guys all have to do something together for me," and we were all like, "No, that's fine." And yeah, that fae stole my face and attempted to murder a queen. So then I was wanted, which was like great. It's great fun.
Okay.
And now it's just like a pirate ship dating sim is where we're at.
What?
So it took some turns. Like we blew up a city.
That doesn't sound like Dungeons and Dragons anymore.
I mean,
It's
it
like
is like
digital Dungeons and Dragons.
yeah,
DDD.
we're above ground. Is one thing. We've only seen like 2 dragons really. So
it's so crazy. Like just because again, like I'm not super familiar with the world of D&D, but like in the last few years with like Critical Role coming out, and it's kind of been pushed to the forefront and like the mainstream. Um, I'm like looking at all these different like homebrew campaigns and like I know like they have like Star Wars campaigns and just like all types of wild interesting stuff. And I follow it a lot. I used to say that my attention span stopped me from playing D&D because if I had to sit down and do something for 3 hours, that I couldn't do it. But I'm doing a podcast every week that's 2 hours long, so
yeah,
I can't use that excuse anymore. But
I feel like
yeah,
it's kind of like you have to just be in the mindset because like I tried to play D&D a few times, like a couple times in high school, like once in college, and then like twice a little bit before this, and I was always like, oh, it wasn't really the attention span, it was just that like I didn't want to play.
Yeah.
So it's like if you want to play, you can sit there and just shoot the shit with people for a couple hours. Like,
Yeah. Is there any like alternative forms of D&D?
and
And by that I mean like does it have to be you're in the dungeon or a dragon has to appear? Like is there any
um,
situation where it's like real world setting and they go
yeah,
through like the
like
same
they have like you can use the system on modern stuff.
hmm
Like I'm playing one of those, I think next week or something. But like yeah, like the system itself can be applied to like anything, and they keep adding to like the 5th edition, so it can be applied to more stuff. So it's really just like a backdrop at this point almost.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's also like, tons and tons of like independent RPGs that are like tabletop and can be played on the internet, kind of like how everyone's doing D&D right now. So it's like try the other ones.
Yeah. I think that'd be pretty sick.
Yeah.
Be interested to know if there's like if they do anything inside of other known worlds, I guess. Like if they had something like that for like an anime, or if they had something like that for like a video game series or something like that.
Probably. Someone's...
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Something. There's a little bit of a delay on my mic usually, and I'm not ever intending to cut somebody off. So
Yes, he is.
that's just a warning. But I think it's interesting because I know when like video games got popular or started to get popular in the 90s, I remember that a bunch of parents were like, "Oh, creativity is dead. Tabletop gaming is like on the way out. It's all." There was this propaganda that like video games were going to ruin the creativity and the imagination of the kids who were growing up on video games when that was like really starting to become mainstream. And now with this resurgence, and it's almost, I feel like it'd be fair to say that it's the same generation that's responsible for D&D being so popular right now, I would argue. I just think it's interesting because it kind of directly combats that argument, and I think it's really beautiful that people are like coming together and showing a bunch of love for things. D&D involved. Sorry, or related to D&D, and it's just I just really like it. Like I know it's not for everybody, but I think there's a lot of really cool, interesting stuff going on. Like I know what Critical Role has an animated series coming out. I want to say.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Ton of stuff coming out, like comic books, novel.
Yeah, like and it's just crazy. I just think it's crazy, but it's crazy in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very happy to see this this resurgence of D&D in like the mainstream community, and like celebrities getting behind it and stuff like that, and because there's been a very negative stigma and stereotype for this type of stuff in the past.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to see that we're kind of getting away from that. So
yeah,
it's definitely been a long time coming. Like it really has. I feel like
sure. I feel like
it's a lot more socially acceptable to play video games now. Like it's not just like oh, you play games? Oh god. Or oh, you play Dungeons and Dragons, or you sit around in a musty basement with a bunch of nerds playing make believe. Oh god.
but I feel like there's two different hello Gio. I feel like there's two different kinds of stigmas for video games and like tabletop gaming now. Because I definitely feel like the stigma for tabletop gaming is somehow worse than it is for video games.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
definitely.
I can agree with
I mean,
that.
it was like worse nerd stuff, like video games got like popular and like disseminated into the mainstream like a little sooner, and it was just like, tabletop games were for nerds in basements, and it's nice that it's not just nerds in basements anymore.
I see what you did there with the voice. How do you think if it turns into like a tournament scene, like a mainstream tournament scene, like video games kind of shifted towards, do you think it'll become more mainstream and acceptable?
I mean, I feel like it's like stuff like Critical Role has kind of done it, and other people have like fairly large RPG like podcasts and like streams and stuff, and I feel like it'd be tough to do like giant tournament versions of that, but like people are trying. Like there's some cons that are trying to do it.
Give it time. There'll be a Fortnite version, and Fortnite will have a tournament for it.
Yes, exactly what I mean. Cause like,
Like a Fortnite D&D? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Oh man,
Give it time. It'll happen.
dude, Fortnite's
you're
jumping
not
into
wrong.
everything.
They would market
It's
that to anyone.
it's ridiculous. Like Fortnite's touching
Mhm.
Street Fighter. Did it touch Halo already? I don't know.
Yeah, Master Chief is in Fortnite.
Star
Yeah,
Wars.
Yeah, the Mandalorian, Batman was in it. Wolf,
Yeah,
almost all the Marvel characters are in it. Like,
yeah.
and it's almost like Jesus Christ. How
Jesus
like
Christ
they're-
is in it.
You know what? They look. Give them.
but they're making money.
Run a little bit more. They'll just like, oh, you want to put Jesus in this game? You
He
think
can't get
about,
shot.
Tony Hawk had the Christ air. Like, it's not far. It's not far. Fortnite will do it.
Yeah.
If Tony Hawk can do it, Fortnite will do it.
That's definitely that's a pay to play skin because
Gosh.
he can't get shot. He'd be running on the water.
I'm gonna have to make that a hashtag on Twitter. If Tony Hawk can do it, Fortnite can do it.
Dude, that would be freaking crazy.
Oh man.
I know a lot of people probably try to ban it or something. I don't know.
Oh, of course.
Oh, definitely.
I will say this: people that are like heavily Christian, they don't like being made. I don't want to say made fun of, but like they don't like things being taken as a joke.
No.
I mean, that's like everyone who's that kind of serious about religion. But like most of the Christians who are mad about it, like, are assholes anyway.
Oh yeah.
So you're just like, I'm gonna
I'll
keep
hear
doing it.
all sorts of pushback from someone who's a devout Christian for any stance that is somewhat taken up in the Bible. I'm like, do you realize the Bible is, if you were going to say it's, X amount of years old, like, when do they update that? They don't update it like normal firmware. We get an update on the phones every other day. Like, no one's updated the Bible in quite some time. I feel like some rules or some things that you follow in there might be a little bit outdated, but who am I?
Oh yeah, 100%,
Yeah.
100%. And
That's so hard for me to agree with. But
speak
my
or just speaking of
Speak your
that.
truth.
Well, I'm gonna let you. I don't want to interrupt your thought. I don't want you to lose it.
I
But I do
was
have something related to this topic.
okay, because like I definitely want to talk about this like in full length on a different time where there's a lot of different perspectives on it. But my whole thing with it is like I understand what you're saying as far as like updating it and whatnot, which like to some degree I'm like, yeah, okay, I can see that. But at the same time, like if the religion is what it was before, I don't think it needs to be updated as a religion itself. Like maybe you create a whole nother religion that's similar to it and call it something different. But if the original people created something that the people wanted to celebrate, use, whatever, then allow that to be that. Like a lot of other people create their own religions based off of randomness. Like there's a whole flying spaghetti monster thing. So like that's an example. Someone wants to practice a different religion, like allow them to go practice that different religion, or you could branch off and just name it something completely different. Let people believe what they want to believe, because like to me, it's like you can believe whatever you want to believe, but as soon as it starts to harm and affect other people, then that's why I understand where you want to update the stuff. Like that makes sense to me. But I think the base level religion of Christianity, Catholicism, all that stuff is like good as is. There's some stuff in there. It's like really, but
No. Okay.
He said
So
no.
I said now. I said now because we have an example in current news in today's current events that is a perfect piece for this conversation. And I don't know if y'all are following the whole Lil Nas X thing right now.
No.
I just found out about that. If you're talking about the Nikes.
Well, the Nikes. He just put out a music video. And
Yeah.
there's a scene
the
with
music
him
video.
doing some stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't see it, but I've seen some stuff about it. But go ahead.
Yeah, so there's a scene where he like slides down a pole and he's like giving Satan a lap dance.
Oh yeah,
And
I did hear about that.
so there's a bunch of people going off right now because supposedly, like, and I don't know when this thought process happened, like people adopted this way of thinking, but apparently people thought Lil Nas X was for the children. Uh,
Because his most famous song. That's what
yeah,
that's
but it's
about.
not. It's not.
And grown
But
up.
the thing is, like Old Town Road and like even Rodeo, like Rodeo has like very direct, explicit references to sex. You know
Yeah,
what I
but it
mean?
got put on Kids Bop, so it's fine. It's for
They
kids.
they changed the words on Kids
It's
Bop.
it's
You're
still
like it
it's
was
still his name.
That's
His name
him.
is on it, so it's for kids.
No,
Man,
that's
no. Okay,
he's
they
a,
put
like
Rihanna and
they
Drake on
had
Kids
him.
Bop too.
Yeah, just like Wet
They
and
had
Gushy.
him. Bro, look, one of my favorite songs ever, Chicken Noodle Soup, is on a kids. But they made a Kids Bop music video to Chicken Noodle Soup. Like we gonna show it later because now we talking about it.
It's a
Like we're gonna
lunch
show
menu,
it
so it's fine.
because that music video is so lit. It's so dope. I get hyped when I see that. But anyway, Little Nas performing at like elementary schools, and I get why they want to say it's for the kids. He never said his content was like y'all made it that way because y'all were like, oh, look at this cute little skinny black dude just wearing a cowboy hat. Yeah, he's gonna be for kids. This man was talking about taking his horse down Old Town Road on a ride to like Kingdom. Or what exactly does that specify that this is
Now he
only
did. Now he did come out and specifically state that that line was actually about riding horses.
like we know that line is for it, but like innuendo is huge. Like
Yeah.
you can choose anything, but like I got the horses in the back. Like he could really be talking about this horses and whatnot. But like there's nothing that says, yeah, I'm making this song for kids. It's not like I'm talking about picking apples and getting good grades. Cool.
also
Picking apples is for
could be
kids.
a
But
It's not
he's
really
also like even if he wasn't uh like even if they were innuendos and he really did intend for those things to have a double meaning, there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? Like artists in all different genres do it all the time.
right.
Uh like there's literally and that's I feel like we touched on this briefly in the past, at least like on a surface level, but there are certain innuendos in different genres and styles of music. And it's like, okay, like in a rap song or an R&B song, you might hear sex mentioned a little bit more explicitly or a little bit more directly. But it's like the one did I already use this example on the no, I didn't. But there was a country song and I cannot remember the name of it for the life of me. But he's talking about going down a back road and like all the curves and whatnot. And he's literally describing the curves of a woman's body. But because of the way he's wording it like it's, oh well, I'm speeding, I know how to when to speed down and when to slow up, like when to speed up and slow down and where all the curves are. Like he's literally saying all this. But because he's talking about a road, it's okay. But we all know that he's referring to a woman's body. And it's like that thing where it's like, okay, like he's still mentioning sex, but is the attitude different because it's not a rap song? You know what I mean? And he's not straight up saying like, "Hey, I'm trying to fuck." Like,
I'm trying to smash.
I I mean, let's be for real. The attitude people have is different because it's a rap song.
yeah,
But also, like, at no point was Little Nas X making like kids rap. Like he wasn't an adult of sorts when he started performing for the world. Like, no, leave me alone.
yeah,
I think it's because of the whole sticker people get from association. Like if you became famous off of a certain group of people, then you're just automatically associated with that group of people
Yeah.
until somehow you blow up off of something else. Like we've seen this with, well, I'm gonna use this as an example, with Ninja. Like Ninja at first was just a Halo 3 player, and I guess a couple other video games, but like he was pretty famous for that before he had his second big burst, which is when like he was playing with Drake and all those on Fortnite. And so he was playing like a non-kids game in Halo 3 and other Halo games, and then eventually he moved over to what's considered to be a kids game, Fortnite. And then now he's just kind of like roaming around, which good for him. Seems like he's doing well still. But the whole association to how you blew up in the first place, I think that kind of carries over.
I mean, it definitely does because there's people. I mean, if you just look at pop culture in general, like Miley Cyrus went through it. Uh, who else? I mean, I'm not really a fan of Miley Cyrus, but that's just an example. Uh, Basically, anybody who grew up on like Disney or Nickelodeon went through it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Hmm.
Any person underneath the Disney umbrella. I mean, you got Jonas Brothers, Miley Cyrus, like you said,
Demi
Anne
Lovato.
Hathaway. Yeah, Demi Lovato. Anne Hathaway actually lost her contract with Disney because she did a movie where she was naked in. And Disney was pissed about it. And they told her that she can never do another Disney movie. And then, like 10 years later, she did some Disney. I can't remember what it was. I think it was I can't even remember the name of it. But in fact, I don't even think that was a Disney movie. But yeah, she lost her contract to do Disney Princess 2 or 3 because she broke the contract.
Is there another Princess Diaries movie?
Yeah. I mean, they're still talking about making that movie.
Yeah.
I feel like
once you get famous enough again, like Disney will take you back. It's fine.
Oh yeah.
The Disney.
I also feel
like, wait, that wasn't so bad.
not to like. I'm not trying to like combat your point or disagree with you, Kyle, but I also feel like Disney has definitely gotten more progressive over the years.
Yes, I will agree with that. They definitely have. They've definitely been a lot more socially acceptable with a lot of things, and they were one of the first studios to have a openly gay couple on one of their TV shows on a family sitcom, which is leaps and bounds better than what they were in the last 20, 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're like progressive within the limits of like still trying to appeal to everyone. Yeah. It's like, you know, they're trying to make money. They're never going to be at the forefront because Disney doesn't have to be. Like, it's not. Well, they're doing it. They're making some stuff happen. Like,
they're not worried. They're not worried about not making money. They're
True that.
Exactly that. The money's always rolling. They're good.
Like, I think the only studio that they got to worry about really is Netflix, but Netflix is like always putting themselves in debt with their massive budget with their movies and everything. They're like, I think $20 billion in debt right now.
I think part of that is probably just a research and development. Like I would have.
They give a lot of their movies like a ridiculous amount of a budget, and they don't really go by the Nielsen ratings like other normal studios do. Mm-hmm. So they never release. Oh yeah, like, 24 million people watch this day one. They don't care about that. But they're also that's one reason why their monthly prices always go up, because they're trying to decrease that budget.
Mm-hmm.
That deficit.
Yeah.
Do you think a lot of people are canceling their subscription because of those increases?
Yeah, there's a lot of people canceling to just because, I mean, you got Universal, they got their own streaming service that's free right now, and you can buy the subscribe one, which it's only like $4 a month, $4 or $5 a month.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing
go up though. That's how they get you in the beginning.
Yeah. But the thing with like Peacock is what their service is called. The free one just has commercials, so it's kind of like Hulu in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
But they're like not streaming. They're advertising heavily because they got Harry Potter right now because they co-own Harry Potter with Warner Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
So they made a deal where Harry Potter was on HBO Max for the first month, and the next month it was on Peacock. And one of the biggest things, like, yeah, it's free, and no one believed them at first. And then finally, whenever the Peacock service actually came out, they held to the truth. Yeah, it's free. You do not have to pay for it. If you want to pay us $5 a month, get no commercials. Here you go. And so far, I think it's still that price. It might have changed. I don't know. I only have the free one, so
yeah. kind of think that's definitely the route to go in the beginning, but because like I feel like for some people they might get the service and then just forget about it, especially
Yeah.
when you have like 3 or 4 different services out there. Because I know my parents were like that. They just recently canceled their Netflix subscription. Because like my mom always says like there's nothing on there. Like why should I even buy it? Why should I still have it?
Right.
Which like it makes sense if you're going to increase the price on it. And then on top of that, yeah, you should probably cancel it. But
Yeah.
my whole thing is like, is it going to balance out like the amount of people that are actually going to get rid of the service versus the amount of money that they're increasing it by? Like, I feel like not enough people are going to cancel the service.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like once they get to a certain point, because I'm paying $18.99 for the 4K version, because I'm all about quality and all that stuff. It's stupid. But I barely get on Netflix. Like I got
you need to
HBO
cancel
Max.
that.
You're right. Like I got HBO Max, and I've got Disney Plus, which I just started again last month, I think, because I watched all of The Mandalorian, and there's no other shows that I was wanting to watch. I'm like, I'll cancel until WandaVision and Falcon Winter Soldier and Mandalorian season 2 comes out. Then they all came out. I'm like, I can just binge them all now. And I'm like, I don't need Netflix. But also my sister, she likes to watch her Netflix on my account and all that. I'm like, why?
It's in 4K.
I mean, I just feel like sharing passwords is the way to go. Like you get one friend's Hulu, you get like one friend's like Netflix, and just like
And I use my uncle's Hulu, which is great because that's $8 a month I'm not paying for.
Well, isn't some service is cracking down on that, isn't it?
Netflix is. They're going to start cracking down on sharing passwords because it's technically illegal.
You know how much illegal stuff happens in this country?
Yeah.
Yeah. If they really
they'll survive because they're the way they look at it, they're losing out on money because they're having other people share passwords. So they're making it to where if you share a password, you can get fined for it.
They're gonna turn into the mafia, start coming after people, mess with their
Until
cash
they're at
flow.
my doorstep, this password, I don't care.
I don't even remember my password. If you have my Netflix account, go for it. I don't care, but I don't remember my password for my Netflix account at all. My sister asked me for it to log into her phone. She's like, "What's your password?" I'm like, I look at my keyboard. I'm like, maybe.
Now I will say that because like I'm one of those people, like I share when I can.
Yeah.
But I am one of those people who has like almost every streaming service and I'm paying for them. And like at this point, I'm like, I might as well just be paying for cable, but paying for actual cable doesn't have the things I want to watch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I feel like in the beginning when it was just like Netflix and Hulu, streaming services were probably the better way to go from like a customer standpoint. But now I'm paying the same price. Like I don't really feel like I'm getting a deal because different companies have like different exclusivity. They have different exclusive shows and movies and whatnot.
Which honestly, and that's not really that exclusive to a point because eventually it'll be on other streaming services.
Yeah. But if you want to watch something the day it comes out, they always try to capitalize on that hype.
I mean, Tiger King didn't pop up on anything else,
Say what?
I said Tiger King didn't pop up on anything else yet.
Man, you can keep that. I still have not watched.
The originals don't go other places, I don't feel like.
Yeah, I watched like the first episode of Tiger King. I'm like, man, this is nuts. And then I watched the third episode. I'm like, this is really fucking boring.
Like it kind of is, but there was also like, what am I gonna do right now? Like everyone was like, now we're being serious about this pandemic, and we all have to stay home, and everyone watched Tiger King, so we had something to talk about. When we realized like maybe the beer was helping a lot of us.
Now, again, this might just be being my Marvel fanboy shit, but
he's gonna say Daredevil.
No, okay. So listen, we're talking. We mentioned how the Netflix exclusives don't go anywhere else, right? But there are Netflix exclusives like Daredevil, that make their way to DVD and Blu-ray.
Well,
Like
yeah.
you can go buy the Netflix Daredevil on DVD in Walmart. So
Really?
if
Yeah.
so if you
You can also buy it on Apple.
yeah, so like there's other ways to watch it. So if you're knowledgeable or if you're just like looking around and you do only want Netflix for like one or two shows and you can like go pick up a physical copy of it somewhere, you can go buy it for that one-time price and then not pay for
Yeah.
Netflix. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Then you have like
mean,
never
one
knew
more
that.
DVD in your house.
That's why you do digital purchases only. Let me just say, like, I had at a point in time like 5,000 Blu-rays of shows and movies, and I live in this tiny ass trailer. And I tripped over my DVD case one time. Like, I'm selling all this bullshit. It's getting too out of hand. I sold it all. I had so much store credit at Slackers. I was giving my store credit away to other people. People would walk in like, "What do you got? All right, $30. I'm paying for that. Don't worry, I got you." Like, it was nuts. And then I found like another
That's
box of just
crazy.
DVDs, and one of the people was like, "You have more?" I'm like, "I don't know."
Oh,
And now it's like I just buy digital format on Vudu because it's cheaper, and obviously there's no physical, so it's nowhere. But I'm also only buying the things that I actually want to own, and it's awesome.
yeah.
now, sorry, I'm trying to play devil's advocate. I'm trying to
Go for it.
Tev, I'm not trying to like cut. I'm not trying to cut you off or anything like that.
Oh, I was just
So
making
like you,
sounds. You're good.
uh, so have you heard recently that they're getting ready to shut down like the PlayStation 3 and like PSP store for good?
And PS Vita, yeah.
Yes. As someone who's very behind on consoles, I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah. So I'm only bringing this up because while a digital only collection might sound convenient for people who are like,
Yeah.
oh, excuse me, it sounds convenient for people who are up to date. But like I know plenty of people who still don't play games online. You know what I mean? Like,
But I mean, you're not losing your old stuff. Like, I'll still be able to play like my whole library that I have and everything that's downloaded. It's just like you can't get anything
yeah,
else, which
Yeah, you
like
just can't buy
nothing
anything
new is coming out.
new.
yeah.
But it would still be nice to like if I decided in a year and a half that I want to play like Crash Bandicoot 2, like that I could still buy Crash Bandicoot 2 and like download it. Note to self,
Yeah.
download Crash Bandicoot.
And then like I know sometimes there's weird stuff with the rates with like the whole Scott Pilgrim video game situation. How it was just completely taken off the Xbox Live, PSN, and the same thing happened with Marvel vs. Capcom. Uh,
And crap, what was it? Uh, they came out with a third one for the Switch. Marvel Legends, X-Men
you talking
Legends.
about Ultimate? You talking about Ultimate Alliance?
That's it. Yes, because that was on the PSN. I almost said PSN Network, but that's redundant. So PSN Store.
DC Comics.
But, I almost bought that, but I'm like, it'll always be on there. I'll get it eventually. And then a month later, they announced that they lost the rights to it, so they took it off the store. I'm like, shit.
That's a sharp to the heart.
Right. That is.
But I don't know. I think that there's always going to be some type of a benefit to having a physical collection, just like comic books. Like I'm never going to get rid of my physical comic collection. Um, Now, there's apps where I can pay literally like a subscription fee, and I can read everything that's coming out and everything that's ever come out, and that's very convenient.
Yeah.
But I still enjoy collecting comics. I still enjoy reading comics. I still enjoy like hunting after like variant covers and getting my comics signed and stuff like that. Uh, so I think it's good to have like a mixture of both. And that's just me and the way I feel about technology in general. Like, yes, technology is convenient, but I don't think we should be completely reliant on technology to keep
Correct.
all of our records, whether it's important stuff or whether it's entertainment. Like I don't think that
How do you
we should be
balance that with
relying.
the and I'm going to say this in a way, but I actually believe that this is happening. How do you balance that with the quote unquote dying Earth with climate change and everything else going on? Because like if the way that we keep records is by using paper or materials from trees and other uh, non-renewable resources, then how do we do both, or how do we go back to the old way of doing stuff?
Okay, that's fair.
Well,
Well,
You got me.
I think
I'm not
I think the
disagreeing
thing
with you,
is, it's
but go ahead,
gonna
Stephanie.
like having stuff like physical things is gonna become more and more niche. Like just to bring Star Trek into it, like one does. You see people collecting stuff in the future, but it's always like one really weird, specific fucking thing. They're like, "Hey, I collect like trumpets from 1952," and you're like, "Oh, okay, that's an interest."
for neat thing.
Like, right? But it's just like, like your hobby is like what you're doing. So it's like always having comics would be fine, but at some point, it's not going to be like profitable for anyone to be making the physical item, which is unfortunate. But they would do like specific collector runs. So like you won't be able to necessarily go to a comic shop that's full of new content, but like there would be something where it's like you're buying from someone a like super limited run of this comic because you still like having comic books and like other hobbyists like that too. But we're going all digital. Like that's what's happening. If you're not super passionate about it.
Do you think there's going to be
That makes
digital?
the
Go ahead, go ahead. I'm gonna say.
oh, my bad. That makes the collection technically more coveted. It makes it more expensive at the end of the day because the comic that they were originally making for 4 cents, now that they're still making it for 4 cents, only 100 of them, that your value versus, like nothing changes about. You just get more value out of it because
Is this
now
man
there's
cutting
only
out?
100
Yeah,
of
he's
them.
cutting out.
I'm cutting out the whole time.
Yeah, you're cutting out.
Whack. Let me yell into my computer and maybe it'll work. I don't know.
My man's face down into the keys.
Now he's muted.
Now he's muted.
I hit the key.
Yeah, what he said. All right, I'm gonna ask my question.
Go ahead and ask.
What do you guys think about like trading cards? Like, do you think that's going to become more digital? With like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, anything else? Digimon?
Hey, I actually still have my Digimon cards.
Like one day you're just gonna be able to like fucking play Digimon. Like you're just gonna be like VR, I'm gonna go and get my digital monster and run around the world, which we already do.
Dude.
But
Yeah.
That'd be freaking sick.
like, yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna just say, I regret getting rid of my Pokemon cards now.
Same. You know
So,
how many
like,
Charizards I had?
Yeah, even if I was just gonna sell them, I still regret not having them at this point in time because I see what is that show where they're like they have a pawn shop. I saw somebody bring like I saw somebody brought a first edition Charizard in there and sold it for like 10 grand.
Right?
And I'm just
Oh, they're going for a lot more than that now.
I had 5 of those. The only reason I had them is because Charizard was one of my favorite Pokemon. So I'm like, I want all the Charizard Pokemon cards ever made. They're mine. And then when I was a teenager, I went through a pyromania phase and I burned everything I could get my hands on.
No.
And I burned all my Pokemon cards and all my Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
This
I don't know
guy
why I
is
didn't burn my Digimon cards.
Kaiba in
but-
here. This man said, if I can't have the blue eyes, no
my-
one can.
$150,000 Shadow Realm.
but nah, like I remember seeing some kids, and Tev, I don't know if you were there for this, but Kel was. So we were outside my house one day, and there were these kids playing Pokemon in the street, like kids do, I guess. But
Street Pokemon, yeah.
Like card game?
yeah, like the card
We're
game.
pretending to be Pokemon. Okay. Different.
People that play card game? Wow.
And so Kel is like, I'll be right back. And Kel pulls out his binder, or he gets his binder of Pokemon cards, and he's just like, take what you want. And like to these kids, we don't know these kids. Obviously, they live somewhere near us,
Oh my gosh.
but we don't know them. And he's just like, take what you want. And I'm like, you know what? And then I go get my binder, and I'm like, here, take what you want from my collection.
Oh no.
Oh, you're trying to flex.
But like that's so nice. Like kids, those kids would be like so hyped. They'd be like, this one time, these nice dudes gave us like some sick Pokemon cards. Even when they don't have their Pokemon cards anymore, they're like, man, I wish I had that one that I took from that dude who gave them to me in the street.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't have any good Pokemon cards, but I gave them all to like one of my coworkers' daughters because I was like, Pokemon's still popular. Kids are still playing with like the actual cards, and I was like, here's a bag of cards. Go.
I never knew how to actually play the card game. Like me and my buddies, we just looked at like, oh, you got 20 attack points. You only got 20 health. I win. That's how we played it.
Yeah.
That's about how it goes. Yeah.
Yeah. They gave you little jewels for damage counters. I was like, what is this? I can't count in my head.
I don't know gummies.
We didn't play with the energy cards.
Oh, that's broken. Got like 20 Charizards in one deck. That's it. No energy
Right?
cards. Just got Bills and Charizard.
Me and Sinto were like, all right, can kill Blastoise. Blastoise with double damage can kill Charizard. Whoever attacks first wins. Like that's a big
That's not how it works, guys.
Dude, I would have had a fit.
only way you play.
I was like,
I
we
definitely
didn't
wish I still.
we didn't read rule books back in the day for sure.
Nah. What was
I made my friend teach me because I had one of those friends who was like an asshole about it. They're like, I know how to play Pokemon, and everyone else was just like collecting cards for no reason.
Mhm.
And I was like, no, teach me. And they were like, I'm gonna be an asshole the whole time I teach you. And I'm like, well, at least now I know. Fuck you. Bye.
At least I know, ho. Shut up.
Right? Like, you have way better cards, so I'm never gonna win. But let me go play somebody else who doesn't know how to play it. It'll be fine.
Now, see, with me and my brothers, we got it when the game first came out. So we had that first starter deck with like Machamp, like the Hollow Machamp.
Yeah.
And we were playing it on a road trip. And I remember going through the instruction manual, and it's like, oh, you have 6 prize cards. And when your opponent takes all your prize cards, they win. And it's like, I remember like tournament rules, if I remember correctly, was your opponent got to keep your prize cards. And I was like, I'm not doing that shit.
Yeah, like the real rules were really real. Like my friend tried to pull that on me when they were teaching me, and I was like, no, you don't get to keep my cards. That doesn't make sense.
That's how we did it when we were kids. If I won, I got whatever card I wanted from your deck. If you won, you got whatever card. Sometimes people try to take one of them. I'm like, no, that's my favorite Pokemon. You can't take that.
That's what you mean. Oh, they're all your favorite. Yeah, they are. Every single one of my favorites.
I definitely got more into Yu-Gi-Oh though.
Speaking of cards, though, I'm not lying. I still have my Digimon cards.
Ooh.
What is that case?
Oh, we put you on full screen. I need to see every single one of these cards.
What is that? I need every piece of
I
that
need to see
card.
every single one of these cards.
Name real quick.
It's like a pen dispenser.
Shout out Agumon, Gabumon, and Patamon for all these years. The real ones.
We'll go through all these cards. There's only like 30 here.
Say Power Blast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Power Blast.
Oh my god, like, yeah,
Okay.
that is nuts.
Another
You want to
Power
talk about
Blast.
a
Remember
hard
that.
card game?
Right.
Digimon was a-
But you
Waterproof.
talk about Digimon. What about Dragon Ball Z's card game?
Oh my god.
What was that card game? I remember that.
Okay.
I can hear it scream in my head like from the cartoon.
You're
God.
tugging at a part of my brain that wasn't awake for so long.
This is
literally
crazy.
dormant parts of my brain.
I used to have that car.
I had like 20 of these.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like it's not a car.
I remember
Roachmon.
I remember having like the different
Okay, can I take a
Was it
moment
the-
right now?
all these Digimon were from Philly.
It is a sad sampling thus far.
Let me just say that whenever Pokemon came out with their garbage pail Pokemon,
That's what I was about to say. I was like, how
everyone's like, that's dumb. Digimon's like, bro, we got Garbage Man, Garbage Mon.
What? There was another cartoon around the same time that was also like digital
Monster
monsters.
Rancher. Monster Rancher.
Thank you.
Monster
Oh my
Rancher.
god. Thank you, Monster Rancher. I liked
Yo.
Monster Rancher best of all.
Yes, Monster Rancher was so hyped, especially the video game, because I remember like you could put different CDs in the game system, and you would get like different monsters.
Oh, that one.
That
Yes.
is the thing's pet.
I remember I
game-
used to
Like-
like
It's like
all the what was it, the humanoid looking Digimons? Ooh.
Yeah, you get like Angelmon, and that's the one.
Angelwoman and Angemon.
Yeah, those two. Those were like the two where those came out. You're like, all right.
Yeah, and then we have the MVP, my boy Agumon.
No, the
So-
little dog one was. What
That's
was the
my
dog
favorite
one's name?
Pokemon. There is Agumon. Pokemon. Wow. That's my favorite Digimon. There is Agumon.
Just got Agumon. I remember. I was a Agumon fan. I was just upset that Where Garurumon wasn't the Mega. Where Garurumon should have been the Mega.
I had that card.
Ooh, Saber Leomon.
That's a cool one.
I missed that one.
But this is wild. This is giving me like flashbacks.
All I just
I
hear
forgot about.
Seedramon. I just hear what's it? 1 Week by Bare Naked Ladies playing in the back of my head.
For the last week and a half, I've been jamming out to ska music. I'm not gonna lie.
There it is.
That popped up, and then impressions that I get. I'm like, oh my god!
Look at that.
Yeah, Gurumon.
And this is from I think Generation 3 of Digimon.
Yeah.
It
Grandma.
is.
That
It is.
one. Yeah.
See, I quit paying attention to Digimon after Gen 2, much like Pokemon.
I was about to say that's a lot of people.
That's fair.
There's some good
That's
things.
when
that
they started
happen.
running out of like normal animals to make into monsters, and they're just like, it's a couch that also
It's a
kills
couch.
It's another one from Gen 3. You can tell by the
So-
back.
Where Garurumon?
Something-
Or that was
It was-
War Greymon. wasn't
Yeah,
War
that was
Greymon,
Greymon.
yeah.
Something I didn't pay attention to in Pokemon was apparently the creators what their goal is for every generation is apparently they try to make half of the Pokemon animals and they try to make half of them inanimate objects. I didn't know that. It's like even
Since
if you,
Vanilla?
when? Since when?
With Vanilla.
Don't
bro,
start
like even
this.
if you
Since when?
even if you go back to Gen 1,
Name
even if
two.
you go back to Gen Name 2,
Yeah.
you want me to, you want an animal and a non
Magnemite?
Magnemite and
I was like,
Kangaskhan.
yeah.
Kangaskhan?
Kangaskhan's a kangaroo.
That's what I'm saying. Kangaskhan is an animal.
No, I'm
and
talking name
Magnemite's-
two inanimate or whatever you're trying to say.
Name 2 inanimate objects.
Yeah.
So you got okay,
And,
you got
and don't say the same
Magnemite.
thing from the same family. No, I don't want to hear that.
Execute.
Eggs.
What's
Why?
eggs?
What's next?
Like,
Eggs?
on.
Anything. What you mean?
like they're
went from
gonna.
egg
You can say
That's it.
executor if anything. It's like a tree, but like even still, that's a living thing. It doesn't have to be an animal.
Magmar.
Yeah, you know, it's like something with like actual, biology. It
Yeah.
could totally happen. It's a living egg. Leave it alone.
All right, so let me. I'll find something. I'm trying to think.
Magnets happen.
I said
Or
Magmar.
natural.
What is Magmar?
Magmar's a
Magmar is
It's
what
like
it is.
it's like a fire elemental. It's still an animal. It's not like the later ones where there's a literal fucking like
Ice cream.
Ice cream, the gear. There's a sword. There's just a fucking sword that is a living Pokemon.
There's like 3 cogs.
I'm not here for the slander, man. I'm not.
So
what
about Grimer and Muck? What are they?
There's literally slime thingies that exist in nature.
Yeah, they're pretty much sea cucumbers.
Okay, what is Vanillish?
Vanilla.
What's what?
I'm just talking about
Vanilla.
generation 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, that's an ice cream cone. That one no.
Ice cream.
I saw that and I was like, no.
No.
When new Pokemon gave up, I was like, you have
y'all some haters.
Y'all
some haters.
I mean, like, no, like, okay, so all of the Generation 1 ones are like animals or things that could be animals. Like, they're at least D&D monsters, and like, then they just start getting weird.
Y'all so biased right now. Y'all so biased right now.
Look, they can only make a Pokemon out of a fox so many times.
Thank you. I don't need a fire, water, grass, electric, psychic, metal, ground, rock, flying lizard. Like, I don't need all those things.
Counterpoint. Yes, we do.
Alright, now this is hot take conspiracy theory Liggett right here, right? I feel like sometimes they come up with new Pokemon types just so they can make new evolutions.
Alright.
Yes, as they should, because Eevee is the best. I love Eevee.
I mean, I love Eevee too, even though Vaporeon's the best.
They haven't made a dragon one. They haven't made a steel one. They haven't made a flying one. They haven't made.
I'm waiting for the dragon one. The dragon one's the one that's gonna.
They haven't made a ghost one.
It better be an actual dragon.
There's That's the thing.
Well, it kind of has to.
Right. Well, no, because in the most recent one they had an apple. And it's a Pokemon, and it's a dragon. It's just what?
It wasn't a fruit type.
No, it was a dragon type. It's an apple. That's a dragon type.
Was it a dragon fruit though?
Okay.
No, because then it wouldn't be an apple.
He's already sure.
Yeah, learn your fruit taxonomy.
But so, not to like completely switch gears or something, but I do have a question for you, Kyle, since we do have you here.
Okay.
And your altered perspective photos.
Yeah.
So I've been noticing that you've been doing a lot of. Again, if I'm segueing too hard, Tevin, let me know.
This is literally Freestyle Friday. He knows not Friday.
But
like the point is to freestyle, so we good.
So I've been noticing you've been doing a lot of product photography.
Yes.
And you want to talk a little bit about that?
What exactly? You got any specific questions, or
how'd you get into it? We can start off there.
Well, I've always kind of had this interest in photography since I was a kid. I still have the very first camera I've ever owned. It's a Polaroid. It's actually in my other room right now, but I used to work at Walmart with Light, but I was at Walmart one day and I'm like, I want to buy a camera. No, I want to do. I'm like, oh shit, I have a job. I can actually buy a good camera.
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking to another friend about it. He's like, yeah, you can buy mine. And this was like 3 years ago. And then originally I was just wanting to take photos of like landscape and stuff like that. And then a buddy of mine from high school reached out to me, and he owns a CBD company. And I actually got one of the products right here. So shout out to Dark Soil CBD. This is one of their lotions.
Oh, lotion.
It's 1,000 milligram of no THC menthol. It helps with like sore muscles and stuff like that. And he actually has oils as well. And I'm trying to get him into beard oil, because I don't know if you guys noticed, I have a beard. And I get tired
that's where your neck is.
Yeah.
That's not a new generation Pokemon on your chin.
But I get tired of spending like $20 on beard oil or more. And I told him about it. He's like, yeah, if we make it, we'll actually, I'll give you some product for free. I'm like, fuck yeah. It's my idea. So, and so I started doing product photography for him. and that's really the only company I'm doing product photography for the most right now. Is it's local, so I'm supporting local and everything. I've done a wedding, which wasn't that bad at all. Like I have this strict rule where I will only do small weddings because I do not want to the point. I do not want the idea of photography feeling like a job for me. So I want it to be something that I can. Oh yeah, I could do that easily on a weekend. Small wedding, sure, let's go. But if it's to a point where like, oh, I gotta have a second photographer, I gotta worry about the bride being stressed out, I gotta worry about the groom being pissed because the bride is stressed out, I gotta worry about the bride's chaotic mother. No, like this wedding that I shot, they is friends of mine from Walmart. They're like, we like your style of photography. We want you to be our photographer. What will you charge us? I'm like, $650. Let's do that. Oh yeah, sure, we do that. I'm like, God damn, I should have said higher. And then like I walked in there. I'm like, what do you guys want me to take photos? Like, oh, just walk around, take photos. I'm like, okay. So I'm like, oh yeah, just I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And then finally, the groom's parents comes in, and then she's like, I just want pictures of the groom and his brothers and their dad getting ready and all that. And I look at the groom and his brothers and his dad. They're already in their tuxes. Like, all right, cool. Just act like you're getting ready, guys. So I had the dad stand there like this, acting like he's fixing his son's collar. I'm like, I'll try to take what I can. Then towards the end of the wedding, where the person says, "You may now kiss the bride," I almost missed that shot. I was in the center. Yeah.
Everybody's face. Like, what?
I almost missed that shot. I'm not gonna lie. I was in the center. I'm like, yeah. All right, I'll go to the right. Yeah. All right, now I'm gonna go over to the left. And like I'm halfway over to the left side, and I hear, "You may now kiss the bride." I'm like, fuck. I'm just like 1 foot over here, mid stance. Like 500 photos of just the same kiss. I'm like, they held it for me, so cool. One of them has got to not be blurry.
One of them.
And one of them was not blurry, so like, thank God. And then
is this a
what's up?
Yes, it is. It is.
is this a Sphinx cat? And can show me the cat? Show me the cat.
You're a
It's so small and how
so
old is that? Is it full grown?
No, she's 4 years old. She's 4 years old. She's just like chilling. She just kept yelling, so I grabbed her. As soon as I walked in the door, I was like, all right, cool. All right, we're up here now. You'll see Luna and you'll see Morty on occasion. He's beardy, and he likes chilling outside. He's in a hammock right now. I don't want to take him out of his hammock. But Luna is just like being a so I was like, fine, get up here then. Now she's like, oh, don't actually touch me, but hold me.
Where's my sweater?
Mm-hmm. Oh no, she's got the heater right here. You'll see her like pop up here and just like become a little like muscle. Like she's stressed out.
She's so small.
It's just like all muscle. It's all just she just looks so strong. So when she's making biscuits, she's like
industrial kitchen biscuits.
Look how strong she is. She looks diesel biscuit maker. Like it's like I don't know, man. Zangief out here in the bakery. But her favorite thing is like she likes being like, you know, they don't regulate body temperature very well, so she always wants to be warm, but she has to like be in the blanket like in a cave. So she'll yell at you until you make a cave for her in the blanket. So she'll, and I'm just like, all right, cool. Like I see what she's doing, so I just hold the blanket up and like pull part of it back so it's dark in there. And she's like, yes, that's where I want to be. And she'll crawl in and just like close it on the other side, and then she just sits there and goes to sleep, or she'll do whatever. We saw her making biscuits one time as soon as we opened the cave for her. I was like, oh, these are secret biscuits
Oh my
that
goodness.
she makes because she doesn't do it very often. So whenever she does, like, it's a big deal for her.
Oh, tiny
But
naked cat.
She just chilling. She's chilling. Yeah, she does. She's like a little chicken. She's like a little alien. She's everything but a cat, realistically. Like she got little kangaroo legs.
Little kangaroo legs.
We're getting.
She's like, why are you doing
Anatomy.
this to me? I was dignified a moment ago.
For real, she's like she gets stressed out, but she's always like licking me too. So I'm like, whatever. If you're licking me with your sandpaper tongue, I'm sorry. She's so happy. She's like being held, sort of. We got her nails clipped, so she's not like putting gashes in my chest like I'm Bruce Lee right now.
Bro,
so we're living.
that's the one thing I did not like about messing with the cat.
Oh no, she's opened me up at times, like me and Bree. Like we're just like, okay, why? It looks bad. Like she'll catch my wrist, and I'm like, oh boy, are we good? I'm like, okay, we're good. But I've had the most scars on my body since I started playing with this cat.
Yeah.
She don't play. She don't play no.
Dude, I be wanting to swing on cats when they do that. I'm like,
That sums up why I don't like cats. Like, it was such a cool naked cat, and then you're like, it's also like a tiny murder machine. I'm like, and we're back.
Yeah.
And we're back to the reason I don't like cats.
We'll wreck.
Pooping in my house, scratching people. Like,
Yeah.
don't need it.
I was like, you can go live outside.
Pooping
Then.
is crap.
Do all that. So you want to
I
act
love
wild? You can
cats.
go be wild.
Like,
Hypoallergenic, best part. Like I'm definitely allergic to animals now. I'm really sad about that, but like
Same.
we're good. I can be like all day and not feel a thing. Put nose directly. Apply nose to cat for high efficiency.
like,
Can you lotion up the cat?
Do we lotion the cat?
Yeah.
It would be great if we could. I'm pretty sure we would.
I was like, put some cocoa butter on
I
it.
feel like you're supposed to. I feel like people have them, and there's little videos of cat lotioning.
I've never seen a cat lotion video. Because the thing is, like, even though they're naked, like, there's a little bit of hair. It's like
It's like peach fuzz.
It's peach fuzz.
Buzz, but beer
and
on
there's
the
more
bird.
hair on certain parts, like her, like in between her. We are completely off topic from where we should be, but like, there's like on her, like the bridge of her nose, she got some hair. Right? So subtle, so small. Like most of her is naked. She's just out here vibing. Realistically, that's all she does. But let's go back to the subject.
Yeah. That was the only wedding I shot. I did portraits for a family, a friend of mine and her family, and I'm supposed to be shooting another wedding in May. But I told them as long as it's a small wedding, I will do it. But if it's not a small wedding, I will walk away.
Yeah.
Because I have a bunch of friends who started photography, and one friend in particular, she started it, and she was telling me how she's just so stressed because she's overbooking herself. I'm like, and that's exactly why I put myself in a rule.
Mhm.
I only want to take photos of stuff I want to take photos of. If someone is directed towards me, that means that they like my style, and I know that if they like my style, they want me as their photographer.
Mhm.
But I do not go searching for people to take photos of. I'll reach out to a couple close friends, like, hey, let me take your photos. Well, I'm here at the park. Let me take your photos. But for the most part, I just do what I want to do.
Yeah. It's like a hobby job. It's not like a job. I feel that.
Yeah. And like, I like product photography because it allows me to be creative. Like, it's just like, how do I make this thing look cool with a whole bunch of other stuff? Well, I'll take some of the other product with it, flat lay it, elevate this thing to where it's just like up a little bit to where there's some shadow in the background, and put similar stuff around it to make
Like
it look cool.
Beyblades.
Could work, yeah. Or stuff that has like the same kind of texture, and like since this is very silverish looking, I want other silverish looking things or something to complement that. And same with the color on there. If that's orange, so I want also something kind of blue with that because that's going to complement look because orange is on the other side of the color spectrum that blue is on. So a lot of times when I take photos of this one in particular, I'll make it look like it's a very cool looking photo, like I give it a cool temperature.
Right.
I don't have any like photos I have printed out, but I do mostly product photography and landscape. So.
Okay. Like, you got the questions?
Nice.
My man lagging up bad.
Snap. So I was talking that entire time, and I was muted.
I see his camera going off. He's like reacting to stuff, and I'm just like, there is not a single word.
So
he's being slick over there too. He's like,
none of us hear you.
He
well,
had
I was cracking
coming from that, and nothing.
I was cracking jokes, but on a serious note, so would you say that photography has kind of this weird mentality with people who are trying to get into it? Because I would, and especially just being a cosplayer, and Stephanie, sorry, I can't speak. Stephanie, you can probably attest to this a little bit too. Because there are some pretty high profile photographers in our community, and there's this mentality when people start to get into photography that as long as you have the gear, it automatically makes you a good photographer. Do you want to speak a little bit on that, or
like? I don't want to say gear is the utmost thing to 100% give you that. How do I want to word it? Gear doesn't always make it the best thing. You know, I always thought that for the longest time. Like I had right now I have a mirrorless camera. It's a Canon EOS RP. It's one of the most newest ones in their line. I only bought that because I knew I had the money at the time, and I knew if I didn't buy it then, I was never going to buy it. So I bought that, and that's probably the last time I'm going to update for a camera in a long time. I started out on a Canon T5, which is basically good beginner status camera. Now I'm not obviously I'm not someone who's been into photography for like 20 years or anything. I'm only like 3 years in, but looking back now, I still could have used that Canon T5 and still got the same kind of effect or the turnaround that I do. Because I have a friend in St. Louis, she shoots on a Canon T5, and her photos are amazing. It's just skill and observation, and I do think that tech is kind of there in a little bit of ways, but not 100%. Like, I mean, you can go out on, I don't know if any of you guys have an iPhone, but you can take amazing photos on iPhones. Like, there are movies that are actually filmed on iPhones, or documentaries that are filmed on iPhones, and it's amazing quality. It's just a matter of skill and observation at the end of the day.
If you don't have the eye, no amount of technology is going to give you the eye.
Yeah.
And it's like when we're talking about even like digital SLR cameras that are like a decade old, our cell phones have gotten to and surpassed that. So it's like everyone is carrying around a camera that good in their pockets in theory. But like if you don't know how to frame something, if you don't know how to use lighting, if you don't on the other side know how to do some like editing, like it doesn't matter that you have $1,000 camera, $2,000 camera.
Exactly. It's like I have $1,000 camera and 2 lenses that are, I think, together are like maybe $500. One's a 35 millimeter, one's a 50 millimeter. I use a 35 millimeter mostly just because I like the way that feels in my hand, if that makes sense, and I know it better. I just haven't taken the time to learn the 50 millimeter yet, mostly. And they're macro lenses, so I can capture things in small amount of detail, which I think goes hand in hand with product photography because I'm mainly taking photos of smaller things, so I want macro lenses. But like there's a lot of kit lenses that come with base cameras, and they're just as good as a $2,000 lens. In my opinion, it's just skill and observation.
Mm-hmm.
That's like I have a friend. He just started photography because saw some of my stuff. He's like, oh, well, I've always wanted to start photography, but I just want to take pictures of birds. I'm like, all right, well, you need a telephoto lens, a longer lens so you can capture stuff from far away. And I actually sold him a camera through a friend of mine, and he actually just got a hold of me not too long ago saying if I'm ever in the St. Louis area to hit him up because he wants to shoot some photos and all that stuff, and he wants to know if I can give him any pointers. But I told him, like, these two lenses that you have here, they're base lenses. They're very cheap. Like, this one is 18 to 35 millimeter is like $100 lens, if that. And this other one is like $150 lens, if that. They're not great lenses, but they'll get the job done for what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just a matter of skill and observation. And I think, like, if you're starting out in photography, or if you're just starting out as a landscape photographer, it's like take a step back, think, look at your area. Like if I'm taking a picture of like a house or a mountain or something like that, I'm going to want something in the foreground that's going to complement the shape or the geometry of the house. So I'm going to want something that's kind of like if the house has a triangle roof more up front, I'm going to want something in the foreground that's triangular that's pointing towards the house as well.
How did you get to the point of learning that you should do certain things like that? Because something like that isn't. I wouldn't think something like that is common knowledge. Like, did you study anything?
Research.
Research. Okay.
I didn't go to school for photography at all. It's just I picked it up, and and she's back. But I picked it up on a whim because I realized I'm an adult and I can actually afford nice things.
Yo.
I
want this? I guess I can.
Yeah, because I was just in the middle of Walmart. I'm like, I can buy a camera. Like I have disposable income. I can afford shit. I can buy other things than just groceries.
Honestly.
But yeah, it's just there's a lot of good YouTubers on YouTube on or just social media in general that have a lot more great advice. Have been doing a lot of photography more than I have, more than I ever will. But just that YouTube University mentality is the best thing in our generation because you really don't need to go to college to learn anything today. Because if you want to learn screenwriting, you can go to YouTube. If you want to learn photography, you can go to YouTube. If you want to learn videography or cinematography, you can go to YouTube. And there's also other places online that sell that. Like there's this one website called Masterclass, and they have leading professionals that like they've got a one with Martin Scorsese talking about screenwriting. Like who doesn't want to learn from Martin Scorsese? Or who doesn't want to learn from Aaron Sorkin, or who doesn't want to learn from Quentin Tarantino?
Yeah,
like if that's one of your favorite directors, you're going to want to learn from that guy.
Which, to your point, Stephanie, I don't know if you can say the same thing, but when I was first getting into cosplay, a lot of the techniques and a lot of the crafting techniques that I was using, I learned from YouTube. Literally, oh god, sorry.
Is that one of the techniques?
I was trying to adjust my lighting. No, so
ring light off.
So when I didn't know how to, and I'm not trying to like derail your thoughts. So I'm gonna just keep it short. But basically, when I didn't know how to do something, I looked it up on YouTube. I looked up like 2 or 3 different people, and I would see people using similar techniques or just different techniques that could be useful. And I'd be like, oh, okay, so I'll try this out with the materials that I have, or what can I go get from like Walmart or Michael's or Joann's that can be even like remotely similar, where I can have something to get my desired outcome. and I learned how to do cosplay through YouTube. Like all the armor that I know how to make, I learned from YouTube.
Yeah.
And um, YouTube is very, or just the internet in general is very helpful.
Yeah.
To anybody who wants to do anything creative.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a huge wealth of knowledge. Like people say, we have literally all the knowledge in history at our fingertips at all times, and people have started making videos of that. So like, I think stuff has changed even so much in the past 5 years. Like the quality of information that's for like creative endeavors, like that is available on YouTube, versus like having to read someone's like weird blog on like Tumblr or like GeoCities or whatever, and you're just sitting there like,
You said GeoCity?
yeah, I said GeoCities. I'm going back that far.
Damn. Just unlocked something in my...
Yo, my mind is melted. Lol.
Yeah, but like, you know, it's just like the information might have been there in the GeoCities days, but it's so much easier to access in like the YouTube people with like nice lights and like things, and you get the double view with the hands and shit, and someone's just like, this is how you do this. You're like,
Oh, cool.
God bless you, the internet.
Bro, I legitimately, there's been times where something happened to my car, and I literally looked up on YouTube how to change car parts.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like car light. That's how I did that, and then I was like, I'm not doing this again. Fuck that.
I will never go to the dealership to change my brakes again. Once I looked up how to change my brake pads on YouTube, I was like, God,
it's tedious. It's tedious, but it's...
You need the tools. You just need the tools.
Yeah, you just need the tools. That's it.
So,
I want to train professional for that.
They get me bags for changing my brakes. I was like, man, I know how to change my spark plugs. I can change my oil. I don't have the tools for most of that stuff, so I don't do it myself.
Yeah.
Like, if I go home, yeah, I'm gonna do it myself. If I ever need it, I will drive 3 hours to go to my parents and just do it all myself, versus spending, depending on how I'm feeling about it, before I spend a bill on changing anything again.
Yeah, if it's just something that I can fix myself, I'm gonna do it. But if it's like, I gotta take out the entire dashboard to flip this one little thing like that, and then it might work. Like, no, that's a mechanics issue. That's not my issue.
But it's so crazy, just the different, like, I guess the spectrum of the types of information that is out there. Because like there's videos about like how to tie a tie, or how to fix your sink or change a tire. And then like on the creative side, there's like, this is how you like navigate the settings on like your DSLR. Like this is, it's
talking about foreground, background, focus. You got to get that aperture in there and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's some things where I'm like, I look at my buddy's camera, I'm like, yours can do that? Yeah, here's mine. Like, I don't think it can. I'm like, I'll go to YouTube. Yeah, just go to the menu, go toggle to here. I'm like, oh shit!
Right.
Like, it might help if I read the instruction manual, but I don't read the instruction manual.
Reading's for.
But sometimes it's also nice to have like parts of the instruction manual explained. Like sometimes you're reading it and you're like, I don't know what this means. And you go to YouTube and they're like, this is what it means, sweet baby angel. Don't worry.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how that develops in the future. Because like, we could get to a point where we get like some Stark level technology.
Right.
So
just like sunglasses that take photos.
Yeah.
Can't wait. Oh, that's already around. That's already around.
Google Glass.
Google Glass. There's like 2 other companies but the one we know is Google Glass. Sit there, you can. It comes up. You get to see like your hangout locations on that. It's not that every single person has it yet. It's a few people that are testing it, and the military that have most of this technology.
Yeah.
As soon as it becomes the common man's thing to be walking around and can see, the Yelp reviews for the pizza place before they go there, if they're scrolling in their lens, like that's like we're not there just yet, but like we're 5-10 years out from that. It's
You think that
look
can
how
be
much
dangerous?
technology has changed in the last 10 years. Like
Nah, I want to be at the I want to be at the club, and I want to be able to read someone's power level.
All right.
listen,
We're going to shut down the stream.
once we get the powders out, if I can tell like how reckless, if I can see your driving record with you as me as a standard citizen and you at the club, like, oh, I see lit right now. I wonder how many DUIs they have.
Oh
or
my
something like
god.
that. And I'm like, shut that man down. I'm the normal citizen with my Google glasses on. He should be cut off.
Or you're scanning people for their DUIs. All right.
I feel.
Hold on.
What? That's
He's got a warrant out for his arrest.
He's got a warrant now.
vigilante justice, bitch.
Oh,
Taste the justice.
And did I become Booster Gold? I think
In
like
the
I'm
cup.
Booster Gold now at this
Booster
point.
Gold.
I mean,
I love Green Lantern.
at that point, you might as well put on a Great Sandman suit up in the club.
Look, don't disrespect Gohan.
I'm not
Don't
disrespecting
disrespect
Gohan,
Nick.
dude.
Look,
We know we
I
love
will not
Gohan
take
here.
that Gohan
There's no
slander out
no
here.
Gohan slander in here.
Look, I will
We
not
all love
take that
Gohan.
slander.
I love Trunks. I don't know what y'all talking about.
Okay,
Get
well,
him out of here. Gohan's way stronger than Trunks. We'll just leave it there. Next topic. I'm not saying anything.
Trunks ain't do nothing for Gohan. He got his arm blown off, so.
I
Okay.
actually do want to shout out this watch company I did take product photos for. They're called JCS Leather. This is the watch.
Shout out JCS Leather.
If you
What's
use
nice-
my discount code, I believe it's just Schultzy, so SHULTZY, you'll get like 15% off your purchase. They got watches, they got leather jackets, they got leather bags. But yeah, they're pretty cool shit.
Make sure
I don't
to
ever normally wear
send
watches.
tab we can put it in the description.
Yes. Put that in the chat, and then
Shout out to you.
we can plug that. Yeah, I don't know if you
Let's
guys
go.
want to get into this, anything else.
I feel like I'm late. I don't know what I went to, so
Did any of you guys watch the Suicide Squad trailer?
No.
No.
I heard it was decent.
I watched it. It's very funny. It's entertaining. I'm gonna see it. That's my one trailer though. So I'm not watching anything else.
Just
to the
No more
movie
trailers.
drops.
One trailer.
Does it?
100%
Is
fair.
it like a reboot? Is it a
No, it's a sequel.
sequel?
It's a sequel.
Okay, but the first one was so bad.
Yeah, that's why there's
I mean, like,
the Restore the Snyder Cut. That's why there's a movement online of Restore the Ayer Cut. Because what came out is not actually the director's vision. He's been pretty vocal about that on Twitter.
Bro.
that's fair.
DC messing up.
I feel like they shouldn't do that with every DC movie. Like maybe
I was gonna
just
say.
give the lady who did Birds of Prey a little bit more to do, and
They even screwed up her movie too.
Yeah.
Look, if
it's still better than the other ones.
if there is the normal cut and 5 years later a direct like the true director's cut of the movie for DC, if that's their trope, like
That's
they
a
gotta let
cop-out.
them run that.
That's a cop.
If that's their trope, let them do it. Oh, okay. This is what.
No, because you pay for
The
the
media
90-minute one, and then you gotta sit through 4 fucking hours. Like, no, I don't want to do that. That's already too much DC.
Well,
You know how hard it is to get a
Alright.
4-hour movie into the theaters? I feel like
You could have done it. You could have split it in half like a Twilight movie. Just like
No.
now it's
Yeah.
6 fucking movies long.
I want my chapters.
You can do it
Look,
like
I sat
Endgame.
through a Lord of the Rings marathon when it first, like when the third movie first came out. I was a kid in Germany. I saw 9 hours of Lord of the Rings, and I was like, holy shit, this is the first movie like that because they for all three movies, and they just kind of streamlined them. There was intermissions, but there were actually like no credits. That was weird.
That's solid.
Yeah, I remember whenever I first moved to Alton, the first Lord of the Rings movie was coming out, and I wanted to go see that with a couple buddies of mine and his family, and then 2 years later, Two Towers came out, and then before we went to go see that movie, we had to watch The Fellowship of the Ring at their house with like their home cinema setup and everything. So I watched 3 hours of that movie, go to the theater. I'm 13 years old, watch another 3 hour movie, and then Return of the King came out. Rinse repeat process. We watch Fellowship of the Ring, The Two Towers, and it's like 6 hours long, and then we go to the theater and go see Return of the King.
Oh yeah.
And then like Harry Potter was coming out, and we had to do that with Harry Potter as well. I'm like, oh my god. But also experience. I mean,
I do kind of feel the whole. I have mixed feelings about the whole restore the Snyderverse and like restore the Ayer cut, because, and I'm only saying this, I know that I'm dressed head to toe in Marvel gear, and there's gonna be people that are like, oh, well, you're just a Marvel fan. And I'm just like, nah, that's not even it. The Snyder cut was good, and it proves the kind of meddling that can go on behind the scenes that fans aren't typically aware of. And I will say it is a very good example of that. Now, however, it is a dangerous precedent to set that, like, because if this kind of trend continues, like, I don't know how true it is, but the Russo brothers were, reportedly talking about, like, releasing, like, a 6-hour cut of Endgame. And I'm just like, come on, man. Like,
I think that was a joke.
That's a hell of a...
I think that was a joke.
Y'all don't want to see that?
Yeah, I'm just like, no, okay.
I'll watch it, but like that's a joke.
Like that's my thing. It's like the Snyder cut was good, but if we're gonna go and we're gonna start these petitions for like every single movie, it sets a really dangerous precedent, because it does kind of become a cop out, because it's like, oh well, our movie did bad, so we can just blame it on the fact that we had to switch directors halfway through. Yeah. And now it's no longer our fault. You know what I mean? So, like I said, the Snyder cut definitely is better than the theatrical release of Justice League. But I think these kind of movements, if they start to become trendy, it'll basically just become a cop out for studios.
But do you think we're going to move in a direction of like having 4-hour movies in theaters? Because I'm more interested in that piece. Because like we've seen how well this did, even though it's a universe that a lot of people like. But what you're saying, no?
There's no real money to gain from a 4-hour movie in a theater. Like it happened with Return of the King and Endgame when they were at 3 hours and 3.5 hours. But the way studios look at it is that, okay, I got a 2-hour movie, I can show this up to 6 times in the theater. If it's more than 3 hours long, I can show up to 4 times in the theater, sometimes maybe 3.
And that's based off like the length of time.
Yeah, it's based off the runtime. That's why a lot of movies are like an hour and a half, and the big event movies are like 2.5 hours. Because it depends on how long they are and how many times they can show in the theater. If it's longer than 2 hours, they can usually only show it up to 4 times. If it's shorter,
why not just like up the price then? At that point.
I mean, but you also know with Marvel, with Lord of the Rings, you already have the built-in audience. Like people are gonna go see it, no matter how long it is. Like it could be a 12-hour movie, and you.
Okay, what about Avatar then? Because like, isn't that pretty long? That movie.
3.
Because it's one of the highest grossing movies.
It's currently the highest grossing movie of all time again right now.
Yep, re-released it in China.
Yep, it beat out Endgame by like $3 billion.
I love it.
The worst explanation for that.
It's hilarious to me.
Cause I'm like, I feel like it's there. Like, I don't know what the hype was around Avatar, like leading up to it. I don't know if there was a whole fan base behind it before or anything like that, but I would assume
James Cameron is just one of the biggest directors of.
Knew or something.
Yeah, he's just one of the biggest directors. I mean, he gave us the Terminator franchise, which the 2 first ones are the only ones that everyone speak of. And he's pioneered visual effects in the movie world. I mean, without Terminator 2, we wouldn't have CGI how it is. Without Titanic, we wouldn't have movies how they are.
Yep. like Avatar was like the next generation of visuals, is like how I remember it being advertised. It was a big deal.
Yeah, that movie, visually, it's a stunning movie. Story-wise, it's Pocahontas and Ferngully.
Which, like, also good. You say that like it's a bad thing, and you're just like, combining two of my favorite things. Also, there's like a Lorax book in the extended cut, so just like
I haven't watched the extended cut, but I'm a big person on extended cuts because I think directors should have 100% creative freedom. Given the fact that I want to be a director, that's another reason why I started photography, is that it can help me guide my director eye. But I think that if a studio, no matter what the studio is, no matter how popular they are, if you hire a director, you're hiring for their vision. And if they make their movie, you cannot be upset over the fact that they made a movie for their vision. They're a studio, I mean, they're a director that you're hiring for their vision. They're not making the Disney version, or they're not making the Universal version. They're making their version. If you want someone else, hire that person that you want. That's why James Gunn is doing Suicide Squad. Because they wanted the first Suicide Squad movie to be more like Guardians of the Galaxy. Because that movie had just came out around the trailer. Or the trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy came out around Suicide Squad's trailer. And they had tested the first trailer, and Warner Brothers at the time were like, well, how come people aren't liking it? It's not fun. It's, people are saying it's not fun. It's not, this. They want it to be more like the Guardians. All right, so we're going to hire a completely different editing company to re-edit the trailer to make it more like Guardians, and people love that. All right, now when we release the movie, we're going to edit it all to hell because we want it to be Guardians. And then, like, it was supposed to be a lot more serious. That's why there's two different tonal shifts. Like, when you get to the middle of Act 2, it's completely different from the last half and the first half. But, and then, a couple years after that, James Gunn got fired from Disney. And then Warner Brothers hired him for Suicide Squad. And I guess that's when Disney shot themselves in the foot because they were losing all their cast for Guardians 3. And realizing, oh, we don't have Guardians 3 anymore. We need to rehire him. Now he's doing both. Which is different because usually a company like Disney, I don't know if Warner Brothers has it, but I know Disney, when they have actors on their contracts, they cannot make another movie from another studio. They have to, like, if you're doing a Marvel movie, I could be wrong, but if you're doing a Marvel movie, you cannot make a DC movie.
That would make sense to me. That's
yeah.
Kind of like the whole, if you work for Netflix, then you probably shouldn't be working for a different technology company at the same time. So that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's like so old Hollywood, though. I thought they stopped that.
Yeah.
Hollywood, corporations, they basically just Crips and Bloods. It's just more bureaucracy to it.
Stop.
Yeah,
I'm not entirely right. Yeah, no, but
my goodness.
Like, there's a lot of shady stuff that goes on in the entertainment industry, but
yeah,
it's there's a bunch of loopholes and technicality, and like the wording is very specific. Again, I'm not trying to be all conspiracy theorist looking, but
shed some light.
Yeah.
Well, let me conspiracy theory. Right?
Yes.
They definitely trap some of these actors and directors in deals that they may be beneficial to those people at that specific moment in time, but now that actor is stuck in like a 10-year contract.
Yep.
You know what I mean? He can't go make movies with
whatever
else.
Which is why one reason Chris Evans turned down the role of Captain America when he first was offered it. He said he turned it down like 3 or 4 times because he didn't want to be attached to a 10-year contract.
Which,
but
like...
Then he talked to his manager, and his manager's like, dude, you're stupid. Do it.
Remember how well the Fantastic Four went? Get in there.
Yeah. Yeah. Which
do that again.
I have mixed feelings about, because it's going to be, like, regardless of how you feel about it, Captain America is going to be one of those career-defining moments for Chris Evans. Like, he is going to be associated with that character, and vice versa, forever.
Yeah.
The same way with RDJ and Iron Man. even like with Chadwick Boseman and Black Panther, like Chadwick Boseman wasn't Black Panther for very long, but he will always be remembered as Black Panther.
Like Lil
Yeah,
Nas
You know
and
what I mean?
Kids
Just
Bop.
he didn't have.
what is this?
Like Lil Nas and Kids Bob.
Yeah.
Yo.
No, but yeah, just because of like the impact Black Panther had
Yeah.
and the representation and what it meant to people, like he didn't have the same kind of the length that like RDJ and Chris Evans had, but his
Yeah.
impact was that big, and you know they broke so many records with that movie, and like he's always going to be Black Panther. And,
R.I.P. to Chadwick
Plus, I
Boseman.
mean,
yeah,
yeah, like, yeah, if he were still alive, he'd be Black Panther like 3 more times, and it would be an even bigger thing. But like,
Yeah.
signing one of those contracts when it does well and like people like it is way different than like signing something that bombs and just like you're attached to it forever.
Yeah.
That's also an important thing to pay attention to.
Yeah.
Word. All right, I think we're gonna wind down here. Yeah, we'll just get ready to close out. Don't want to take up too much time. Like 2 hours deep so far. So we can touch on one last thing and then call it good. Do some shout outs to One Night afterwards. If anyone's got anything else. Gio looks frozen, staring up at the sky.
Frozen. I'm looking. I'm multitasking. I have a song that's due at 11:59.
Oh, you got a screen up there?
Yeah. No, I'm using the TV as well as the laptop.
Okay, I was like, yo, this man got the Walmart net going.
Look, this is the life we live. The reason we need financial compensation is not for mesothelioma. It is literally for Walmart demos where we
my
were sitting
scoliosis
there
come from that.
breaking our backs.
Yeah, that's once the final mesothelioma patient dies off, then it'll be that. We don't even have asbestos, right? Oh god, asbestos.
Yeah, anything you want to hit, Gio?
Receive some sort of financial compensation. You tested? Were you tested in the past 20 years? Actually, you know what? I just found something that you cannot get money. You cannot sue if you are sick from a COVID shot. I literally just looked that up today, and I was like, oh, interesting. So that's for another day. We'll come back to that topic.
I mean, we fill out paperwork and it says it in fine print there. Like,
we'll come back.
All right, like they crank that out. Just you'll get what you get.
If you get sick and you die, you get sick and you die. Just walk it off.
Like, could have gotten sick and died anyway. Like we gave you the vaccine. Like just
yeah.
Like, look, we gave you the vaccine for it. We never said you weren't gonna get it. You might die from it, but hey, you signed a piece of paper here.
Here's a pie chart.
Pie chart. You got a Venn diagram.
Yeah, just
a Venn diagram.
It's a
chances you might survive.
Yeah, you just
chances you won't survive.
I'm gonna have to look into that.
Mutant powers is the middle. Mutant powers.
I'm shooting.
Mutant powers.
Honestly, worth it. If it was like a 0.001% chance you would get mutant powers and like a 5% chance it would kill you, I'd be like,
oh, bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how many birds
in there.
Like, if someone said, take this shot, you might die, but you also might be able to fly. I'm like, all right, come here.
Run that.
Yeah. Especially if you could choose the power. Like if you could be like, I'll take the mind reading. And they're like, yeah, okay, good luck.
Yeah.
There's a HUD with a skill tree that pops up. We get it so you know.
Right. Certain ones cost like more life essence and you could die at a higher rate. Like
if you choose this attribute, you get 5 years off of your life.
No.
You know, people are over here just like 5 years. Look, I ain't want to live that long anyway.
The entire environment's gonna be gone by then, so let's fucking do it. Like,
yeah.
Coming in clutch anyway. I don't need the 5 years.
In this economy.
And that's when someone goes, how about invincibility? There we go.
Ooh, then you live forever.
right? That would suck.
Is
Immortality.
yeah.
You got
Because you could be invincible for like 80 years and then just drop dead.
True.
Yeah.
Immortality, you'd be like, okay.
I'd be
Vampire
bored
stuff.
with immortality. I'd be mad at myself. Why am I doing this? 8 still getting old.
Like,
My knees. My knees.
I mean, if you keep aging in immortality, that's bullshit. But if you like froze right now and then could just like off yourself at some point, like
We don't know a 200-year-old person.
it
I'm
was.
pretty sure
it
at
was
200,
fun.
like everything, you're Mr. Glass at that point. Like nobody.
What if you don't feel anything?
You wait.
Like emotionally or physically.
yes.
I mean, okay. Let's end it on that then. I have the final question. Then we're gonna do shout outs. What the heck? Which one would you rather endure for the rest of your life? Emotional pain or physical pain?
Oh.
I mean,
Okay.
like at the highest degree of either one.
Oh.
So, I'll go first. I would probably do physical pain
Yeah.
because emotional pain, I've been there, done that. I'm good. You know what I mean? I already hit peak primetime sad boy hours. I'm I'm not trying to do that. I would want to be surrounded by a loving family / partner / pets.
While you're screaming in
know.
agony.
Right.
If I gotta, if
Scream
straight
the
up,
whole time.
if I'm bleeding from the waist down, but you know people love me, like bet. All right, I'm good. Like,
Oh my gosh.
Like you made that choice way too easy. But I'm gonna look.
man, just hug me and it will get
I'm
me
not
through the
hugging your
physical
bleeding
pain.
body, bro.
Yeah, like you're bleeding. You just said you were bleeding from the waist down. No, I'll hold your hand from like a distance, like that awkward distance.
That's
You
still
literally
still
said you're
emotional support though. That's still emotional support though.
A light
There's
pat.
blood everywhere. If you hug me so I feel better about it.
I was like, would that squeeze the blood out faster?
Hey, it's whatever. I'm loved until I am loved until the very last second. All right.
Oh my goodness.
Right? You know what? I don't know. I like where you're going, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'd have to say physical pain as well.
Okay. But why? Where's the why?
I have a high pain tolerance. I learned this the hard way, or multiple times the hard way. 4 years ago, I shattered my ankle in 7 locations.
There's 7 locations on the ankle.
Yeah. And the doc, whenever they were setting my foot back into place, and I was just sitting there on the hospital bed, just taking the pain, and I had 2 nurses on one side of my ankle, 2 nurses on the other side, and the doctor on the end of my foot, and they're all pushing my foot and all that. I'm just sitting there like. And the doctor, he stops, he looks, he goes, "Are you not feeling any of this?" I'm like, "No, I've got really high pain tolerance. I don't know what it is, but I have a hard time feeling pain." He's like, "Usually people are screaming and crying and cussing whenever it comes to this point." I'm like, "Yeah, no, there's nothing going on." So I feel like if I can endure that, I can endure a lot more.
We're masochist gang.
Oh.
And also let me say that for the first 2 weeks that my ankle was like that, I thought it was sprained, and I worked. Like, I told my boss at Walmart at the time, like, "Look, I cannot stand. I cannot walk. I am isolated to this electric wheelchair, but I can build like a motherfucker."
X-Men: The Last Stand.
And he's like, all right, go to lawn and garden, put some patio furniture together. I put all the patio furniture together that I could in the first 4 hours, and I was done. Like, it was 2 tables and 12 chairs. And I got it all done, and I looked at my manager and said, hey, it's all done. He's like, what? He's like, our actual normal assembler does not do that fast. I'm like, well, your normal assembler is not me. I'm trying to ignore pain right now.
You just back up in your electric wheelchair, like, it's not done. I'll be back in a day.
Yeah.
Like,
on a serious,
go for it.
On a serious note, I just want to preface my previous comment by saying I in no way condone ableism.
No.
That's not what I was getting at. But yeah. And also, like, I think the specificity of this question is important too, because it's physical pain forever, right? But we're not talking about the severity of the physical pain.
No, I said at the highest degree. The highest degree.
yeah, like,
I made sure to say that because, like, it could be like, oh, I got a splinter, which, like, it hurts, but at the same time.
It's forever throbbing.
Yeah.
There is no.
Which is why I would go emotional pain, because like physical pain is something. It's a tough one. Like, it's a tough one. Like, you feel like you could
I need to ask more people this question. This
like,
is turning into a good experiment, but go on.
Like, yes, emotional pain will be there forever, but you can do stuff.
Hashtag masochist gang.
It's like the physical pain is like, I want to be able to like function during the day. Like, I want to be able to, like, you know, stand up and move around and do things. And even though emotional pain is also crippling, at least
I feel like either of them will stop you from doing things.
yeah. Yeah.
Where I'm at right now, like, if something is excruciatingly painful physically or excruciatingly painful emotionally, like, if I'm stuck with excruciating pain that's physical forever, like, no matter what a doctor like I go to is like, hey, your wrist it's broken, it's fucked. Like, you're done like that. Okay, cool. Well, my wrist is broken forever. It's gonna feel like this forever. Sharpness. I can't grab certain things certain way, whatever. Okay, I get that.
Yeah.
Emotional pain, like, okay, if it's to the sense of this high degree, like, yeah, I'm emotionally hurt forever. I can still physically do most things. Like, maybe there's some bright side through therapy that learn to somewhat operate emotional aspect of whatever I'm dealing with. And realistically, there could be good and bad. Such a weird question. I know I want to be like, oh, I can't do that because I physically can't do it. If I'm just like, oh, I can't take it right now to do something, I'd rather that than I physically can't do something. I'd be like, oh, this is an off day. I can't do that.
Because I mean, like, what I'm thinking is, like, you know, like, when you have a crushed disc and then you're just like, you're in pain forever, like back pain, like that.
Yeah.
Versus, like, if you're thinking about like emotional pain, like, you're thinking about kind of like an explosion that goes out from like one exact someone dying, and you're like in the worst pain you've ever been in.
Yeah, because people do die from what could be considered heartbreak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
where does that occur at though? Is that specifically in the heart? Does it have, like, do you feel the effects of that physically in your head, in your brain? Do you
Man,
feel
I
it
don't know.
physically
I'm not a
throughout your
doctor.
body? Because, like, my thing is, like, I understand what you guys
mean,
are saying about being able to operate with emotional pain versus physical pain, but, like, at the same time, it's like you don't necessarily have to have. Like, I would say that emotional pain could be disabling in its own right in comparison to, like, yeah, if you broke a leg or something like that. But, like, it doesn't have to be broken in the scenario. It could just be just kind of like the pain just exists without any sort of reason.
That's why we take naps.
I swear to God.
Well, that's not a current me problem. That's a future me problem. Nap time.
But Gio and Stephanie, you guys are saying emotional pain.
Yeah, that's yeah.
I'd be
Yeah,
living
you cut.
emotional pain all day.
He's like frozen Geo, ceiling
Am I
Geo.
still cutting in and out? Hold on.
Yeah.
You're
It's
running
'cause
too
I'm-
many bandwidths.
Yeah, I'm crushing it right now with all this. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
All right, he's like, hold on, fuck you.
Crushing it.
It's like, tell us how you really feel.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's
Man,
hashtag masochist gang over here.
Hashtag hurt me because I like it, gang.
Hurt me like you love me. Shout out to Corpse Husband.
All right. I don't know which side I would go for.
I don't know what that is.
Corpse Husband is
You gotta be the tiebreaker. Come on now.
Ooh.
Come on now, you're a tiebreaker.
Ah, why have to be the fifth person?
Make it pop.
I'm just
Because
gonna
there's
leave.
literally
You could've gone
5 of
first.
us. What
Yeah.
you mean?
There has to
Five
be
of us.
vote now.
Goodness. Dang.
Over here, like I don't like aches or thinking about it.
Honestly.
Neither.
I want to choose nothing. I don't want pain.
Honestly.
My answer is no.
Nah, pain. All I know is pain.
Physical
Hey,
or emotional pain?
All I know is
Just being
pain.
there.
Chocolate pain.
Does being the moderator give you a pass to not choose to answer your own question?
Dude, I can end
Nah,
the
you
stream
got
right
it.
now. Be good. Dude,
Find out next time on.
I would probably go with. I want to go with physical pain, but like when I get sick, I just turn into a straight up baby sometimes. So it's hard for me to say that. But like I don't think I've really felt anything like super physically painful yet. Like I've sprained my ankle a couple times, but aside from that, like nothing really. So it's hard for me. But like emotional, I've definitely felt what I considered for myself pretty intense at the time. So I would say physical just for the unknown. But I'm also curious if other ladies would say, well, Gio's not a lady, but I'm curious if other ladies would say emotional pain as well, because that's what it seemed like it was going in that direction. Because I was like, is that
Me and
like,
Geo, ladies of the stream.
Ladies.
I was like, is that a product of like life experience or is it something else? I don't know. I'm curious.
I'm sure a lot of ladies would say physical pain.
Yeah, there's tons of ladies that would say physical pain
Yeah,
because they
I
would
think
be able
it's
to
just like-
tolerate that better.
Yeah, it's like a life experience thing. Like what have you had worse of, maybe?
Hmm. That's what I was kind of getting at, but I don't know. Anywho,
I feel like Luna would also choose emotional pain because as a cat, like
just trying to get away from you right now.
That's all they know.
They
Just
have 9 lives.
emotional pain.
Frozen.
That.
Oh my god.
All right.
All right.
I'm allow y'all the opportunity to do some shout outs. I may play some music in the background in the meantime. Gio, you got any songs, anything I should play?
Do I have a song?
Yeah.
For you?
Or just anything random. Anybody Chocolate Rain? Should we listen to that?
Let it run as right. Let it run.
Anything.
Come on, chill, relax.
We,
Oh, you're
we
playing the cat
Gucci.
now.
Yeah. Just put on
She's
some
crawling all
lo-fi.
over the
Some lo-fi.
Put on some
Put
lo-fi.
on
Some
some
non-copyrighted
chill hop.
lo-fi that we get right out to.
What do you mean the non-copyright? Were we getting hit with
We
the
got hit by like 3 last time. Freaking Batman Beyond
Oh, oh
smacked me straight in the mouth. The one that you sent me smacked me straight in the mouth.
Yeah, I was watching the YouTube video of that, and as soon as you guys started playing that, I'm like, oh, they're gonna get hit from that one.
The X-Men Evolution one was
Like,
fun.
go do something else.
I can run old X-Men shows, but like, how dare you cover a song?
DC smacked me up.
I like this.
Lo-fi raccoon.
Chill hop.
Alright.
Okay.
Oh, got loud. Alright, shout outs. Thank you guys for coming on. Give you guys a little bit of time to shout out whatever you guys would like. Just be nice. Starting with the lights as usual.
All right. Well, follow me. It's light_strife on social media, except for Twitter. But my Twitter is a place for filthy degenerates, and you don't need to be there. But but follow me on Instagram. It's LYGHT_STRIFE. Come check out my cosplay and any other creative thing I might decide to put on in the future, which could be and probably will be other stuff very soon.
Go ahead,
Uh, follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I've got 2 accounts on Instagram. One is my personal account. I post a lot more photos of animals and some product stuff on there, more personal stuff in my life. That is Schultzy90, SHULTZY90. My Twitter handle is the same on that one, and my photography account on Instagram is Altered Perspectives Photos. That's altered_perspectives_photos, all lowercase.
and Stephanie.
Hi, I'm Stephanie. On the social media, I am Kyola Cosplay, like KYOLA_cosplay. And like I said, on Mondays, come check us out on Gut Punch RP, all one word, on Twitch and Instagram and maybe Facebook. I don't know. Yeah, so yeah, come check us out Mondays.
I will definitely look that up. My name is Gio, and on socials and in most places, I go by Sasuke. IG, Twitter, it's Sasuke Who, as in who's that? SAUCEK Who. Follow Corporate Thugs on IG, SoundCloud, Facebook, Twitter. I want to see, a lot of hood shit happening with some music. We got a big local show happening. We have well, so, be around, stay around. Thank you here on this podcast. Thank you, Kyle. Thank you, Steph, so much. We love having people on here. It's really awesome to hear everybody. Did we say perspective? I don't know. I missed like an hour. I think we said PerspekTev.
We haven't hit the magical button.
There it is. Guess the code is PerspekTev.
Pins
And glad y'all
clutching
up. Look, am I cutting out the
You
whole?
cutting out a bunch, bro.
Yes.
Have I just been cutting out this entire episode?
A decent portion of it, yeah. But it's all good. We appreciate
I
having you
would-
on here.
And I'm in. Oh well. And yes.
Oh,
They
my
got the
goodness.
gist.
Just as Gio said,
But,
Oh,
yep.
man. Crab battle.
Oh man. Yeah. So thank everyone for watching. Appreciate the homies coming through. Nice meeting you guys. By the way,
Nice meeting you too.
it's been really fun. It's just a good chill sesh. In like in regards to what we've been doing before. Well, last week wasn't super thick, if you want to use that word, but we definitely covered some heavy topics at times. So if you guys are willing to come back for that, then like I said, you guys are free and welcome to coming back. Just let us know. Not super picky about who we bring on. Sometimes we are. Not me though.
Oh, you throwing shade right now.
The one wearing the shades, yeah, sure. You can handle the shade. Nah, we're all pretty chill though. But yeah, follow podcast related things on all relevant social media at PerspekTev. You should see it on the Twitch channel. If you want me to spell it out, I can do that. Psych, I'm not doing it. But yeah, I really do appreciate you guys coming through. And shout out to Beerus, as always. Coming on, homie.
Tev worked out. Hi, Tev. Hi.
And,
Hey, you froze on.
and that's how you
I think
end.
I got cut. No.
You hear me now, Tev?
Oh.
Oh my god.
Are we still
Okay.
live? Am I live?
I don't know. You tell me.
We cut for half a second.
I'm not in charge.
Bro, this has been dicey the whole time.
It still says live on the. It says live on the old Twitch.
Okay, we cool then. I still got time on it. What did y'all lose me at, man? Like, what is this?
Shouting out the socials and thanking people for being here.
Oh,
And then you froze, and then Gio was like, "Come on, Tev."
okay. Well, that's good because I was saying something stupid. I said I can spell it out. I can spell it out, but I don't want to.
Oh my gosh.
But it's P. Dang, I can't spell, bro. It's literally right in front of my face.
PerspekTev.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I don't have a college.
Yo, did we
degree or
lose him
anything.
again?
No, I'm
I
still
think we
here.
lost both of them.
Yes.
No, only
You
him.
lost me.
No, you're good. You're good, Gio. We got you.
How can y'all not see me? I'm moving
Ah,
around.
Wait.
Frozen in the corner over there. What's
oh god, what's happening?
Can y'all hear me?
What is that? That little naked cat?
Man,
It's
Save the
Beerus.
cat.
It's because of
You know-
Beerus.
here?
Because of Beerus.
R.I.P.
I do want to say that I appreciate y'all for coming through on such short notice too. I definitely appreciate that.